Welcome to a Leader's Journey podcast. I'm your host, Joel Gunn, and I'm also your guest. This week I'm in training in Chicago, but didn't want to leave you without something valuable. I've extracted about 15 or 20 minutes from a recent AI talk I did for a small group of business folks. What I've extracted and sharing with you is some practical, real-world examples of how I've been using AI with my clients or just for personal interest. My hope is it'll spark some creativity with you and how you use AI. If you have a second, add a comment to the video on how you're using AI, or next time we see each other face to face. I'd love hearing about your AI journey. Have a great week, and we'll be back with our regularly scheduled programming next week. C12 coach, I work with CEOs primarily, but I started learning how to program computers as a kid, around 14 years old. Y'all saw my AI talk previously. The whole talk's an hour long, and Brent said I had 10 minutes. So I'm just going to talk about some of the newer functionality that you may or may not have played with. One is you can prompt it with words and it'll generate a photo. I went in and I typed these exact words. I said, photorealistic picture of a mountain modern home, blue sky, white clouds, red for sale sign in the front yard, make the house black and white. About 45 seconds later, I got two pictures. What do you think?
Pretty good.
Not too bad for 45 seconds worth of work, right? Which one do you like better? Just curious. I've been taking a poll.
Right. Yeah, me too. I don't like the house.
Yeah, so interestingly enough, so far everywhere I've showed this, the audience has always picked the one on the right. So
Because it shows it's sharper, it's clearer and bright, more precise.
yeah, definitely not photorealistic. You can tell it's computer generated. But I prepared this actually for a real estate talk that I was asked to give. And that's why I did this one in particular. But yeah, so that took about a minute worth of work. And you could actually, and I did, I asked it to do additional iterations, make the first sale sign blue or whatever.
So is the one on the left a real, or are they both?
They're both computer generated. Okay. Yep. They're both computer generated. This one feels a little more real, I think, because of the street and the snow and things like that. So here's the next thing. I was sitting in the airport the day this functionality came out a few months ago, and you can take a picture of a real world object and ask AI to modify it. And so I happen to have a bottle of smart water sitting next to me. You'll see it here in a second. I'm going to explain it first and then show you. And so the first prompt I gave AI, I took a picture. I told AI, look at this picture and then make the liquid in the bottle purple. That was the only thing I told AI to do. It did. And then I said, darker purple, and the label should read Joel's water. Okay, so that's all I gave it a picture. I gave it this prompt, it gave me a response, and then I gave it this prompt and it gave me the third picture. So you'll see in the next slide, you'll see the original picture, the first one it generated, and the second one it generated. So here's my water bottle sitting in the airport. You can see my backpack right there. This is what it came up with for the first iteration, and then the second iteration. That whole process took about a minute and a half, including me typing the prompts and taking the picture. What's this cool for? Well, this is like if you're doing product iteration or brainstorming an idea. If I wanted to pitch an idea to you guys about my new vitamin water that is purple, I've got a concept going, right? So you can have all kinds of fun with that. Take a picture of your current living room and reimagine what it might look like. And then there's some other functionality that's newer that a lot of people don't realize is there, because early on, if you played with AI, it was limited to old information. It had only been given information as of a couple of years ago. And so you'd ask it questions about current events or current things, and it would say, sorry, I can't help you with that. So one of the things you can actually do with AI now for the last few months is you can give it a YouTube video link and then ask it to do something with that video link. And so I'm going to walk you guys through it. This is a 1 hour video from my podcast. And so rather than me paying a social media expert to generate the info announcing the podcast, writing the social media content and so on, I've been letting AI do it for me. So here's the prompt, and it's a little wordy compared to some prompts. World's best social media expert. Why do I say that? Because there's evidence out there that if you let AI play a role, ask it to play a role, it'll give you 40 to 60% better answers than if you just tell it to do something. So if you say, imagine you're, a doctor, imagine you're a business owner, imagine you're an actor. So in this case, I say, you're the world's best social media expert, write a compelling social media post, summarizing and inviting people to this content. Audiences, multi-generation professionals, leaders, business owners. Add high SEO hashtags. Any media people in here, social media people? Why is a high SEO hashtag important?
More views.
It's going to get me more views, right? So more likely to get more views, and it seems to be working. I also said add emojis. Now, I don't really care much about emojis one way or another, but that's the hot thing right now in social media posts. So if you don't have them, you don't get as much attention. I said I prefer bulleted formatted results. And if you look at this, these aren't even in any particular order, right? I'm just kind of throwing information at it as I'm thinking about it. I said, oh yeah, recommend me 3 to 5 potential titles that are most likely to go viral. And then finally, after reviewing the content, now I just added this in the last month or two. After reviewing this content, what current news and statistics support the claims made in the recording? So it actually has to listen to the recording, find statements that the person I'm interviewing has made, and then go see if it can validate that statements with current news and information. And give me at least 3 valid examples, cite your sources, date published, and your authors. And then I gave it the link. So I've have this pre-typed and saved on my computer, so I just cut and paste it whenever I need it, and then paste this in. So about 30, 45 seconds later, here's exactly what it gave me. The title it gave me several titles. The title I picked was First Memories of Money. This is a real thing out on my podcast right now. Here's the opening paragraph that I could use for quick social media post type stuff. This is the one I use in YouTube and in Apple Podcast, and I give it this additional information. So, and then it says, discover practical steps, psychological tools for self-discovery, engage with pivotal themes of evolving American dream, significance of personal identity, impact of artificial intelligence. Those are some major discussion points that we had going on. Whether you're a professional leader, you're going to want to read this. Here's the high SEO hashtags. It came up with takeaways, which I also put in my YouTube post and my social media post pointing people to the video. So you don't even have to watch the video. In about 45 seconds, you can skim through this and see if it's a video that's going to interest you. And then it found a couple of pieces of data. I chose this one, which is a February 2021 article published in the Journal of Consumer Affairs, saying that there is psychological impact of early financial education. And so my guest on the podcast was saying our first memories of money change and influence how we handle money as adults. And so that was a major point that he had made. And so this actually confirms that is true. Interesting, right? Yeah. So did y'all catch that it took it about 45 seconds to do this? It was an hour video.
Wow.
How did it watch an hour video and write all this and give it back to me in 45 seconds?
Something at first caption, you tell whoever's at first.
So Brent knows the cheat. He's an engineer. Of course, he's a genius. He figured it out. But most people in the audience go, I don't know. So Brent's right. There are tools out there that take your video and create captions from your video for the hearing impaired. And so it basically transcribes your video for you. So this had already been transcribed. It found the transcription file out on YouTube, skimmed that hour worth of transcription, and wrote all this in 45 seconds. So that's how it cheats and watches an hour-long video. Some other uses that people, and these are just a few fun ones just to get you thinking. I took the newspaper article from when Connected first opened. Newspaper came and interviewed Brent and I and asked us, what is this thing and what's the purpose and all that. So I took that article and I said, okay, AI, look at that article and draft the company core values from the article. Just curious to see if our core values came through in the article. And it actually, it rang pretty true. We had, one of my clients had a customer feedback form letter that they used, and I glanced at it and I was like, this could be a lot better, but rather than me comment on it, cut and pasted it into AI and said, make this better. And in 30 seconds, it was better. Used it to calculate the reimbursement of accrued interest, where it was going to be 7 weeks until the reimbursement happened. So what would the accrued interest actually be? By the way, it's not really good at math. This new version that they released last week is supposed to be way better at math. I have my opinions on why it's not good at math, but that's for another time. I've had it rewrite my bio. I paid a professional ghostwriter to write my bio. Been published in magazines, written books, all over the world, literally. And AI, I thought, did a better job. And then my daughter hears me playing with all this stuff, and we're at dinner one night. She goes, hey, Dad, can you have AI update my resume? I got an interview tomorrow. And I said, sure. So she texted or emailed me her resume. I cut and pasted it into AI, had it redo it, sent it back to her, all in like 3 minutes at the dinner table. It turned out really good. I would hire her, but I'm biased. So, okay, so I'm going to give you guys a couple of minutes to practice this. I'd recommend you go to gemini.google.com on your phones. And if you already have a Google account, it'll go really quick. We'll do like one quick something, and then we'll be done. So let's say you need a marketing article written, or a job description, or you need an idea for somebody's birthday party that's coming up. Whatever you want, plug it in real quick and just type something. So yeah, so there's little tells of what's still AA and what's not. Margaret's concern is valid. Like whatever it generates, you're responsible for. Okay, you can't blame AI. You own it still. So I would use it for drafts, first pass, concepts, right? Margaret has to, if she feels like the words are great but the soul's missing, she's got to get the soul component in there when she does her talk, right? Brent's, when he does his presentation, fundraiser, he's got to make sure those words mean something to him. But it's often better than starting with a blank page. You got something to play with, right? And so that's how I'm encouraging people to use it. And again, we need good people using AI so it's learning good things, not just learning from nefarious people and learning bad things and bad habits. So anyway, that's all I got.